Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. So if your Samsung washer is throwing that UB code and stopping mid-cycle, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Good news is that most of these issues are totally DIY friendly. Simple fixes like redistributing clothes take just 5 minutes, while parts replacement might take 30, 60 minutes. Either way, you'll save the dollar 200, 300 it costs for a service call. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group, links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the most common culprit here is just an unbalanced load. Happens all the time. You'll know this is your issue when the UB code pops up during or right before the spin cycle, especially with bulky stuff like comforters or towels. What's happening is those heavy items are clumping together on one side of the drum. Here's the fix. First, make sure the washer has completely stopped moving, then open that lid and redistribute everything evenly in a donut shape around the drum. Imagine you're arranging clothes like a tire around the center agitator. Don't overload it. Keep it under 3/4 full. And here's something most people miss. If you've only got a couple items in there, that can cause problems too. The washer needs enough weight distributed evenly to spin properly. Another thing that'll trigger that UB code is if your washer isn't sitting level on the floor. You can actually hear this one. The machine will rock back and forth or make banging noises during spin. You'll need two tools for this fix: a bubble level, about $10 at any hardware store, and an adjustable wrench. Check all four sides of your washer with the level. If it's tilted, use the wrench to turn the adjustable feet at each corner until the machine sits firmly and level on all sides. This usually takes about 10, 15 minutes. Make sure you tighten those locking nuts once you get it adjusted. Oh, and double check that you remove the shipping bolts if this is a newer machine. I've seen that oversight cause all sorts of balance issues. Now we're getting into the mechanical stuff. On top-load Samsung washers, there are four suspension rods that support the tub and absorb vibration. When these wear out, you'll get persistent UB codes even with perfectly balanced loads. Here's a quick test. Push down firmly on the empty drum. If it feels squishy or bounces excessively instead of having firm resistance, those suspension rods are shot. The fix is replacing all four rods as a set. Never just do one or two, as this will create new balance problems. Safety first. Always unplug your washer and turn off the water supply before starting any repair. You'll need a helper to lift the top panel safely. It weighs about 30, 40 pounds and can pinch fingers if it slips. And here's a pro tip. When you install new rods, especially aftermarket ones, apply dampening grease to the cups they sit in. That grease is crucial for making them last. Here's the sneaky culprit that stumps most DIYers, and it's specific to top-loading washers. Your washer has a fluid-filled ring at the top of the drum, kind of like a built-in gyroscope that's designed to counteract unbalanced loads automatically. When that saline fluid leaks out or gets unevenly distributed, you get permanent balance issues. You'll know it's the balance ring when you still get violent UB codes even after replacing the suspension rods. Listen for excessive sloshing when you jiggle the drum. That's a dead giveaway. Now, the traditional fix is replacing the entire inner drum assembly, which costs about $400. But there's an unconventional repair that many people in our Facebook group have had success with: carefully drilling 8 small holes using a 3/16-inch bit in the balance ring to drain all that fluid out completely, then running a calibration cycle. Fair warning. This voids your warranty, but it can save you hundreds if your washer is already out of warranty. Sometimes that UB code is just a software hiccup in the control board. This usually happens after power outages or if you've been having other electrical issues. The simple fix is a soft reset. Unplug the washer for about 10 minutes, then plug it back in. If that doesn't clear it, try the calibration mode. Make sure the drum is completely empty. Power on the machine, then press and hold the temp and delay end buttons together for 3 seconds until you see CB on the display. Hit start and let it run through the calibration cycle. Takes about 3 minutes. This is the worst case scenario, but I gotta mention it because it's becoming more common with Samsung washers. The spider bracket is a cast aluminum piece that connects the inner drum to the motor shaft. When this corrodes and breaks, you'll see the inner metal tub actually wiggling independently of the outer tub. Sometimes you'll find tiny metal chunks in the drain filter. If you confirm the spider bracket is cracked, you're looking at a major repair, often costs more than the washer is worth. This is one of those times where replacement might make more sense than repair. All right, so the UB code basically means your Samsung washer thinks the load is unbalanced and it's shutting down the spin cycle as a safety measure. Now, I'm going to walk you through the most common causes of this error, starting with the simplest stuff you can check right now and working our way up to the more involved repairs. Trust me, about 90% of these cases are going to be one of the problems we're covering today. For suspension rods, you're looking at anywhere from 20 to 87 bucks for a complete set of four, depending on whether you go aftermarket or OEM. You can find these at appliance parts stores or online retailers. This is definitely a moderate DIY repair. You'll need to remove the top panel, but it's not too complicated. Just remember to replace all four at once and use that dampening grease I mentioned. Don't cheap out too much on aftermarket rods. I've seen some fail in just a few weeks. The balance ring drilling fix costs you nothing but time and effort. You just need a drill with a 3/16 inch bit. The alternative is replacing the entire inner drum assembly, which runs about $400 plus labor. That's usually not worth it unless your washer is pretty new. The drilling method is definitely a last resort, but I've seen it work for a lot of folks in our Facebook group. For front load models, you're dealing with shock absorbers instead of suspension rods. A set of four typically runs between $23 and $75. These are a bit trickier to replace than suspension rods because you've got to access them from underneath the machine. Still doable for most DIYers, but plan on spending more time on this repair. If you need to replace the spider bracket, parts alone start around $150, and that's not counting the labor involved in completely disassembling the washer. This is expert level repair work, and honestly, unless your machine is still pretty new, it's often more economical to start shopping for a replacement washer. Now, you can see on the screen right now the Samsung models that are most commonly affected by these UB code issues. Take a look. You might even spot your own model number up there. The problems we covered today apply to most Samsung washers, but these particular models seem to have higher failure rates with suspension components and balance rings. That's your complete game plan for fixing the Samsung UB code. Here's your step-by-step action plan. First, redistribute your load and level your machine. That fixes it 60% of the time. Second, test those suspension rods with the push test I showed you. Third, if they're worn, replace all four rods. That solves another 30% of cases. Finally, if you're still stuck, consider the balance ring drilling method as your last resort before calling a pro. Share this video with anyone dealing with appliance issues. We've got tons of repair guides that can save hundreds in service calls. If this helped you get your Samsung washer working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.